Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. It is February 19th, 2019. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's been some time since you've heard from me, and the last live stream that I did was in respect to the mythological stories of Nibiru and Planet X. And I've been answering a lot of emails lately, about 100 emails a day, and I don't even know how many inbox messages that we get coming into our Planet X News Facebook page. And some things that are concerning me is what I want to talk about, and we'll talk about that real quick. You know, I hate to come on here and slam other YouTube channels because this has apparently just become some type of a game for some YouTube channels, and I truly believe deep down in my heart that these YouTube channels are just literally taking advantage of people that are interested in learning about what is happening in our solar system, what is happening out there by our sun, and what is now happening to our planet. And it's very hard for me to sit back and allow this to happen. But what I have noticed and what I have realized, that if somebody does not respect your research and the observational evidence that you have put forth over the years, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter anymore. Because if certain people, you, the viewers, you, the followers, if you happen to like one specific YouTube channel that presents Nibiru or Planet X information, if you happen to like that character, well, no matter what they show you, you're going to believe it, regardless. And over the course of the last 3 weeks, I've taken a lot of my time to just simply sit back and answer about 100 emails a day. A lot of these emails are pertaining to what these people, you, the viewers, what you are watching on YouTube. And then you send me an email and you ask my opinion on it. And when I look at the specific video that you're inquiring about and I give you my opinion, some of you get mad. But I'm just giving you what I would consider to be my professional opinion. Some of you don't like it, some of you appreciate it. But again, folks, I'm not here for some damn popularity contest. I'm here to present to all of you the evidence that I have found, and that includes Dr. Albers also. A lot of you have been very critical of some of the videos that Dr. Albers has been doing. But Dr. Albers is a scientist. And now that she is no longer lecturing, and now that she doesn't have to teach a particular curriculum governed by a university, she is free to think about whatever she wants and write about whatever she wants, and you don't have to believe anything that she says. All of us should be engaging in critical thinking. So let's get down to some critical thinking. And I'm going to be dead honest with all of you And a lot of the emails that I get, I'm going to be I'm going to be quite honest. A lot of these emails are pertaining to what YouTube channels like WSO puts out there, and this other Planet X channel that's by Alex Luhan. Some of the information out there that Dave Dobbs is putting out. A lot of scammy channels that are just reproducing old information. I've been at this for years, folks. I started to investigate Planet X way back when I was in my last year of college, and that's going back all the way to 1989. So let's get down to some critical thinking, okay? What evidence, what observational evidence has any of these other channels ever truly showed any of you that would make you believe that there is planetary objects, stellar core objects, brown dwarf objects, Nibiru objects, Planet X objects? What evidence have they shown you? Have they shown you conclusive evidence that these objects exist? And the answer to that is absolutely not. They haven't shown you anything. You, as the viewers and the followers, you just maybe happen to like that individual, the YouTube creator, the channel creator. Now, a lot of you don't like me, and you think that I'm kind of brash. That's fine. It is what it is. But I'm not here for a popularity contest. I've told all of you that before. But I want all of you to understand that these other channels are doing nothing but clouding your mind and taking you away from the actual truth. I had a few folks inbox me frantically over the last couple of days about these live streams that WSO, this Steve Olson's doing with this Boogeyman channel. And they're delving into this fake dome over the earth. And I've never been critical of the Flat Earth Society, but ladies and gentlemen, the earth is not flat. There is no dome over the earth. That is all complete nonsense. Again, critical thinking. If a lot of you would just literally stop watching the nonsense, or maybe you find it amusing, that's up to you. But if you stop watching the nonsense channels, then you won't clutter your mind with that nonsense. Your critical thinking will become quite acute. And you'll clearly see that a lot of these channels are just looking for views. They want that rock star status. There is no rock star status in what I do and what Dr. Albers does. We are under the gun 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have people trying to infiltrate my life every minute of every single day. I don't even know who these people are. I have requests for interviews. I have requests to do radio shows. I have requests to go on as a guest to other YouTube channels, which I will not do. There's no need. All of the evidence is right here. So here's a task. Find one YouTube channel that has shown any of you concrete observational evidence that you could put your finger on. I'm not talking about some YouTube channel that, sits there and talks about Jesus Christ and God and the Bible and Revelations. We need to talk about the present and the very near future. Because what is happening now, ladies and gentlemen, was not written in the Bible. The Bible has nothing to do with what is happening now. There may be some correlations to past events, but please do not allow people to prey on your religious beliefs, because that's what a lot of them like to do. I mean, why do you think you don't hear from David Meade anymore? All of his predictions were thrown out the door, and he pretty much was made an ass of. I see a lot of these channels do this. I see them saying prayers at the end of their ridiculous videos after they've shown all of you a bunch of nonsense. I see all of them telling their followers, people that they don't even know, I love you. We know that that is all fake. And we are dealing with so much fraud and so much fakeness out there that people are starting to disbelieve what is truly happening. If you go back all the way into 2016 and throughout 2017, everything that I discussed on this YouTube channel is now coming true. Every bit of it. What valuable information did you ever get from any other YouTube channel? You got absolutely nothing. And they showed all of you nothing. We have produced the most critical evidence showing the existence of these objects that are now orbiting our sun. You know, I have a lot of people that misquote what I say. I just had a lady leaving comments under one of our videos the other day, and she was saying, oh, Scott said this and Scott said that, and Scott said Planet X just entered the solar system in 2019, and they're hoping that other viewers read these ridiculous comments, and that creates the disbelief. I never said any of those things, and if a lot of you that have been following this YouTube channel for several years, you know exactly what I have said. The fact of the matter is, there are more charlatans out there on YouTube and Facebook now more than ever. I think that probably, a good 90% of you that follow my YouTube channel and follow Dr. Albers, I think that you have your heads on straight. But again, I get these emails constantly, and people are really, really concerned. Oh, well, why is, this person saying that, and oh, why are they doing this, and why are they showing me this, and blah, blah, blah. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, it all boils down to that critical thinking. If a YouTube channel that is involved in this type of research is not showing you hardcore evidence, turn the channel. Unsubscribe. Don't watch the garbage anymore, because it does truly cloud your mind. I don't bother to watch any of this garbage because I already know what is out there. I have talked about the effects on our planet for years now. And if you're not blind, then you can clearly see what is happening. Just take a look at your weather. Back in 2016, throughout all of 17 and 18, I told all of you that, this type of weather, these weather anomalies would start to occur, and the situation would gradually get worse as these years have gone by. Here we are in 2019 already, and we are seeing some really, really drastic things happening with our climate. Then all of a sudden, politicians want to jump on the bandwagon, and they want to talk about climate change. All of a sudden, mainstream media wants to jump on it, and they want to talk about climate change, but nobody is telling you why it is happening. They're not explaining it to you scientifically, because it's all smoke and mirrors, folks. So again, if you've been following me for a number of years and your memory is good and you don't have Alzheimer's and you're not suffering from dementia, then you'll remember, oh yeah, that's right, Scott talked about that in 2016. And he was blasting it out there in 2017 and 2018. And here we are. Another year has gone by, and the situation's now critical. The weather is insane. Remember my quote? The weather will become your ultimate enemy on this planet. And ladies and gentlemen, here's something else a lot of people have been blasting my ear about, is an ice age. Excuse me. I can't say for a fact that the Earth is not slipping into an ice age, because all of the data says different. The Earth is actually heating up. The data proves it. Listen, folks, if you don't believe me, and a lot of you watch Ben Davis from Suspicious Observers, go back and listen to what Ben is telling you. He's telling you and showing you facts that the planet is heating up. Now, excuse me, just because we have these crazy polar vortexes and all of this, blizzards and snow and, all of that good stuff, doesn't mean we're going into an ice age. I've explained all of this to all of you many times before. We have very, very critical issues with our jet stream. And another critical factor that nobody wants to talk about is the ice loss in the North Pole. It is critical. And you all say now, oh, well, there's plenty of ice up there in the North Pole now. Well, that's right. But that is what they refer to as new ice or young ice. And folks, in a matter of a few months, all of that new ice that is formed will be gone. It will flow into the Atlantic Ocean and eventually through the one strait in the North Pole and into the northern Pacific. Once again, upsetting the salinity of our oceans. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you right now, wait till this spring of 2019 rolls in, and better yet, wait till you see what happens in the summer of 2019 in the Northern Hemisphere. Your eyeballs are going to be wide open. They're going to be popping out of your head. As I have said before, and I will say it again, the weather is our biggest enemy. And then once we move into the summertime, wow, you know, I can't even imagine what's going to happen because my crystal ball is broken. So I can only go by, you know, the weather models and what I'm seeing occurring with the jet stream. And to tell you the truth, I've been conversing back and forth with a very small team of professional climatologists. I mean, these are professionals. They're not some, you know, YouTubers. They are professional climatologists. And they're actually coming out there now and they're letting their voices be heard. They too had questions about, wow, how in the hell is this happening now? And wow, how fast it occurred. Well, the majority of climatologists really don't pay that much attention to the solar system. But now this small group of climatologists, ooh, they know the facts now. And they are in total 100% agreement with what I've presented to them. Shocking were the words that they used. Oh, I thought that was a myth. Oh, I thought that was a story. Until the evidence was presented to them, and it blew their freaking mind. I had so many people upset and literally freaking out about the shift in the magnetic field in the Northern Hemisphere. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about that for quite some time. But why all of a sudden is it speeding up? Does that have anything to do with climate change? Absolutely not. What is causing it? Well, let's just think about that. Magnetic field, magnet. What's inside of the Earth? You know, a molten core. Rock and metal. What do we perceive Planet X, the stellar core object, whatever the hell it may be? These objects have very intense magnetic fields. And if any of you know anything about putting two magnetic fields together, what's going to happen when they interact with each other? Well, it's not a pretty scene. Especially if one is stronger than the other, and maybe you have the X, Y, Z factor, which would be X being the sun, Y being planet X, and, Z being the sun, X being planet X, and Y being the Earth. All three have a magnetic field. So now, all three of these objects are interacting with each other. Do you think they're going to play nice with each other? Hell no. There is more to this science than some silly YouTube channel showing you pictures that they can't even explain to you, that they can't even verify to you. But yet they're going to sit there and tell you that there's a glass dome over the Earth. And then some of them are going to tell you that the damn Earth is flat. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing in space is flat. Nothing. So, again, it all boils down to that little bit of critical thinking. Why do you think balls are round? Why do you think planets are round? I mean, there is still so much that we don't know about space. And the same goes for our own planet. But yet, you're going to take the word of some dude on YouTube, all strung out on whatever, talking to you from his garage or his apartment or his car on his cell phone, and telling you the world's going to end. Or just showing you crazy anomalies captured in the sky. Well, hey folks, you know, we are going to continue to see very weird things in the sky. Because yes, there is no doubt that the government is trying to, let's just say, keep the planet warm, manipulate the weather, but they can't manipulate all of it. You know, we could go into the whole chemtrail scene in the sun simulator and that whole 9 yards. And I truly believe that the majority of the anomalies that are being seen in the skies around the world are due to the artificial light. Folks, remember the story a few months ago, back when, what was it, October, talking about, China talking about putting up an artificial moon to light one of their cities at night? I mean, they're still going for this. I think the launch is coming up. People call the sun simulator fake. Well, hello, China's putting up an artificial moon to light up one of their biggest cities. We'll wait till that happens and we'll check it out. I'm not going to be answering any more of these emails related to the ridiculous YouTube channel Boogeyman, or Alex Luhan, or Steve Olson, or Dave Dobbs. None of these people, none of them have ever brought 1 ounce of credible evidence to the damn table. And you can go out there and you can tell them all what I said. I don't care. What I care about is each and every one of you understanding, truly understanding what is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, look, here's the deal. Forget about what is happening in outer space right now. Worry about what is happening right now on this planet. Things are going to start to shift again very soon. As soon as we move into the spring solstice, I'm telling you right now, when the Earth starts to shift again, moving into the spring and summer solstice, we are going to see cataclysms on this planet like you have never seen before. Don't worry about that fake glass dome over the Earth. That's nonsense. The Earth being flat is nonsense. I'm telling all of you now, no matter where you live on this planet, you better have some sort of emergency plans set up for loss of power, loss of heat, food, water, and safety. I don't care where you live. Some of you may live in a plush neighborhood and you may think that you're impervious to anything that will happen. You're wrong. Things are not getting any better, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting worse. And we have all of these knuckleheads out there that want to jump on the Planet X bandwagon because they think that there's thousands and tens of thousands of dollars to be made on, YouTube advertising. Listen, YouTube has put a stop to all of that. Okay? They are burying channels. They buried my channel back in 2017. They have pretty much removed information from Google. I mean, if you guys don't believe me, just go to Google. In the search engine box, just type in the word Planet X. Don't put in Planet X News because my YouTube channel and Facebook page and website will come up. Just put in Planet X. The first thing that comes up are the Planet X bicycles, the mountain bikes, the company Planet X mountain bikes. Yeah. You may go 3 or 4 pages deep into Google because they're scrubbing it. Because of people like me and Dr. Albers and, some others who have really, really publicized and shown the hardcore evidence. Now, millions of people around the world know about it. That's why you have the scumbag debunkers that are paid to come out there and discredit you and harass you and stalk you. I mean, now is truly the time to start that critical thinking, folks. Don't send me any more of these emails. Hey, check out this video. Hey, check out that video. Because I don't have the time for it. And 99.9% of all of the garbage that is sent to me is nonsense. I don't have time to sit and listen to Steve Olson babble with his special guests because it's all nonsense. And if you guys are into wasting your time, then go ahead and waste your time and watch that nonsense. What you really should be doing is planning. You may think, oh, this is never going to harm me. Oh, this is, oh, we'll be fine. Okay, whatever you say there. What are you going to do when your power goes out? And I'm not talking about some damn EMP. Let's talk about the massive amount of snow, ice, sleet, freezing rain on power lines that take down the power lines, and what? You don't have power. If you have electric heat, guess what, folks? You don't have heat. Oh, the temperature's down below freezing. Oh, well, what does that mean? That means you freeze to death. You can't charge your cell phone. You can't do this. You can't do that. Come on. I don't have to sit here and explain this to you. All of you should know better. All of these landslides that are now occurring, it's all happening over here on the east coast of the United States. Why? Because like I said back in October, there are portions of the east coast of the United States that will see very minimal amounts of snow, but they will receive a tremendous amount of rain through the winter time, saturating the ground, therefore creating mudslides, landslides, and it's happening. Listen, folks, I live in the Pittsburgh area, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Steel Town, baby, Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Penguins, the Pirates. Just last week, on the news, in 1 week, they counted 69 landslides, mudslides, taking out houses and roads, and yes, injuring people. Trees that are 150 years old, 60, 70 feet high, all of a sudden, the soil's so saturated, it's been saturated, and the tree falls over. What does it fall over on? Well, it destroys power lines. Then what happens? You don't have any damn electricity. Just the other day, the same situation occurred, and a huge, almost a 100-foot massive tree fell onto a house. It fell right through the middle of the house. Thank God the family was not home, but it destroyed their home completely. Once again, we have really crazy weather systems rolling across the United States. Some parts of the United States are receiving a lot of rain, and then these huge troughs come through, and they're dropping massive amounts of snow in the middle section of the United States, and then that trough rolls away, and it sucks up all of this hot, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and it streams it in a diagonal pattern right across from the Gulf of Mexico straight up through the southern states, and it's all rain. We are about to undergo this same pattern within the next 48 hours. And it's been kind of weird because Pittsburgh's kind of been on the fringe of this. You know, a couple of days ago, just 40 miles north of me, they were getting pummeled with massive amounts of snow. And Dr. Albers and I, we were like, wow, you know, we're watching this weather report, and it was 42 degrees where I was standing. And it was, you know, we had a little bit of a drizzle, rain. Then you see these car pileups. Oh my God! People just don't understand. They don't know how to drive. So you see, folks, this is all happening. Now, I don't know if any of you have heard about, you know, what's happening down there in Australia. Again, massive heat waves, massive floodings in the northern tier of the country. Heat waves ripping through parts of Europe. Yeah. Do you think it's just going to end tomorrow? I don't think so, man. It's going to get worse. See, we are in that transition period right now. We are literally transitioning from living a normal life to the transitional point where life will never be the same. Stop wasting your time viewing nonsense. And again, I'm sorry, but I hate to be critical of these others, but they're just jerking you around. And again, maybe you like them on a personal level. Hey man, that is your prerogative. But things are not going to get any better. Do I have any new observational evidence to show you? Yes, I do. Have I been doing my homework each and every day? Yes, I have. Why haven't I been on YouTube each and every day? Well, let's just say Planet X News has been keeping a low profile and out of the direct eye of YouTube, because YouTube is now hammering channels left and right. And I've put a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears into this YouTube channel for all of you. Not for me, for each and every one of you around the world. So you can truly see real evidence. Not some fake BS. Not some shylark. Those objects are still there. They're not going anywhere. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately. And, you know, we all know that we're getting very, very close, if not already into this solar minimum. And that's a whole nother ballgame, folks. That's a whole other issue that is very critical. Very critical. I'm not sure if any of us are going to live that long to see all of that play out, but your kids and their children will. And God only knows what's going to happen then. I think at that point in time, the Earth is going to be at a very, very critical stage. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think that the elite want to get the hell off of this planet? Listen, don't let anybody fool you. They already have habitats on the moon. They already have habitats on Mars. Don't let anybody fool you. The special space program, secret space program, they've been at this, oh my, what, I think since the 50s or 60s. But that's beside the point. None of us are ever going to be living on Mars or the damn moon. We're not good enough. So therefore, we are going to stay here on Earth. And we do have to make some plans, some safeguards for tragedies that can and will occur. You know, folks, last winter, my pipes in my house froze unexpectedly. And before I could get the situation solved and taken care of, 5 days went by with no running water, nothing. I was going back and forth to Walmart and filling up massive containers with water. They have a water filtration system there that you can fill up jugs for pennies. just to flush a toilet, just to make some coffee, just to do some cooking. Just imagine not having water for 5 days. Just imagine not having electricity for a week. Just imagine a massive tree falling through the roof of your house because the ground is saturated. Just imagine losing your home to severe flooding, which is going to be a big, big problem this upcoming spring and throughout the entire summer of 2019. Mark my words. So again, we have to be done with the nonsense. It is now time for very, very severe critical thinking. Because that is exactly what I've been doing. I'm not some big-time survivalist. I have my own hideaway place that I've worked on for a long period of time in the case of any really, really big, bad, serious type disaster. Not even going to talk about it. But, yeah. Do I have things like food and water put away? Oh, you can guarantee that. So, we need to start thinking. Things are going to get much, much worse than they are now. But listening to these morons on YouTube is a waste of your time. But then again, that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Over the years, I haven't seen one YouTube channel show any credible photographs, observational evidence, nothing. Zero. You'll see it here on this channel because we've done our homework. I've done my homework for years. Speaking of, let's take a look at some of this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And let's check some of this stuff out. I was just going over some data. And go ahead and pull this up. And this was coming off of one of the coronagraphs, the C2. And again, you may not see anything on your screen at this moment. And this was a recent capture, just I think the other day. And I was going through some of the coronagraph information, and bingo, lo and behold. Now, there is a short piece of video that shows a little bit of a discharge from the sun coming off of the right side, and you can pretty much clear as a bell see the this large sphere, and the sphere was coming from back this way, moving in this direction. But because the footage is always grainy on this C2 coronagraph, it's just not even worth my time to show it to you. But I did take a screenshot. Let's get a little closer. And you can see, and I hope you guys can see, because I have the resolution on my screen sharing software turned up to 1080p. So it's a high definition resolution. But you can see the large sphere, and along with it, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 smaller round spheres. I would have to estimate that those spheres are pretty close to the size of the Earth. They may be a little smaller, they may be a little bigger. It's really hard to say. But the fact of the matter is, well, hell, that's not Jupiter, that's not Mercury, that's not Venus. Look at the size of it. I wish it was crystal clear, but only the boys in blue at NASA have the right to see that. Yeah. So when people tell you that Planet X is fake, I don't know. Maybe you want to kick them in the nuts and tell them to go do their homework. Yeah, that was captured, well, actually on the 19th, earlier today, because this is on Universal Time. So, that is today. So, I just put this in a little bit of a different filter so we can actually see it. And the smaller spheres actually come out a little bit better. So, you know, again, are there other YouTube channels that are like showing you real stuff? Or are they just showing you pictures that subscribers send in of crazy looking sky anomalies that they're taking photographs through their sunglasses with a cell phone? I mean, are we really interested in that, or are we interested in what the hell is really out there? You know what I'm saying? So again, there it is. It's today. Now, this was captured on the 9th of February. And this was actually a piece of video that I was viewing as I was looking at some of the imagery on the SETI website. And I was looking at the extreme ultraviolet light video of the sun. And this is in motion, that piece of video. I have the piece of video, but the time lapse kind of distorts things a little bit. But what you actually see is this sphere come from the back side of the sun in a diagonal motion and blaze right through the corona. And you can see it disrupts the corona. So it's kind of like blowing a spitball through a smoke screen. And I wish it was a little bit better, and I wish the time lapse wasn't so far apart. Now, NASA sees this in real time. Don't let them fool you. Okay? Those damn satellites send the information back to NASA in real freaking time. Not in 12 and 16 minute increments. Real time. And to them, they probably thought, oh, that probably looked like a little coronal prominence popping off. No, I don't think so. And we've captured this before back in 2017. It was in a lower position around the 7 o'clock position on the sun. And we captured that, and I showed it for many days, that massive sphere whipping through the what's left of the corona of the sun. And again, it doesn't look like much. You could zoom in on it. And I converted this over into a high definition, but you can clearly see the sphere. There's a little dark spot here, dark spot there. Can't tell really what it is. But that object came blazing through the sun's corona, meaning it's orbiting the sun. It's not on some hypothetical, mythological 3,600-year orbit. These damn objects have been captured by the sun. Okay? They are orbiting the sun in a 28-day orbit around the sun. I don't care what Dave Dobbs and his ridiculous models show and tell you, because they're fake. They're false. They're not real. He has no scientific data at all, but yet he wants you to send him $10,000 so he can build another Planet X Nibiru workable model on a computer. My God. Now, this was on the 5th of February. Again, this is on one of the coronagraphs. This always looks very staticky, and this is to detect coronal mass ejections on the sun. Okay, well, you can see the coronal mass ejection here, which wasn't much. It was more of a flaring situation. But within the short piece of video, which is spaced out, the time stamps, I think they're almost, maybe an hour apart on this, or 12 or 16 minutes, I forget. But again, here, let me zoom in for you. Oh, well, what the hell? You see a perfectly spherical dark object, and it's only there in 2 frames, which means it's traveling, it's moving. It's not a photograph that somebody took from Earth through their sunglasses using a cell phone. And I don't care if you have a $1,000 iPhone. So again, real observational evidence, not nonsense. Let me see what else I got here for you. Oh, this was, this had to do with the, let me get back to the beginning here, because this was some real nonsense here. This was a photograph. Let me just bring it up to your screen level here. This was a photograph that the Chinese Space Agency sent and publicized of the their orbiter, showing for the first time the moon, the dark side of the moon, and the Earth in the background. Now, when I read this article, I said, wow, that's pretty cool. That's like never been done. But then as I started to look at the photograph and started to piece some things together, let's look down here. That is fake. That is an overlaid image of the Earth onto their photograph of the dark side of the moon. So as I continue to do my little investigation on this, this is the actual JPEG overlay that they put into the picture to make you think that they captured the Earth from their orbiter from the dark side of the moon. I gave all of this information to Dr. Albers, and she did a report on it, and they talked about it on Wayne Steiger's YouTube channel. So I did this little graph here for all of you to check it out. And it says, as you can see, there are 2 pixel boxes surrounding the Earth picture. One is in red, the other is in yellow. The blown up photo to the left here shows you the straight 90-degree right there. You can see the box. And then there was another one here. So those are telltale signs of overlaid images. So we can't even believe what the space agencies show us. I don't know what they were trying to prove by doing this, but they did it anyways and they publicized it. And it turned out to be complete nonsense. That is just a overlaid image of the Earth and the moon. The moon photograph is probably real. But who the hell knows anymore? Yeah. What do you think about that? Man, and that made headlines around the world. Just think of the millions of people that thought, wow, look at that. That's a first. Yeah. Well, it's fake. Fake as hell. Let's see what else we got in here that I haven't shown you guys. Because I haven't been on YouTube for, I don't know, since I did my last video talking about the mythology of Nibiru and Planet X. And, you know, somebody sent me this photograph, and they're like, oh my God, Scott, look at this. Now, you know, folks, this is fake. It's completely fake. It made its way all the way around Facebook and Twitter and probably YouTube. But it's just a complete fake photograph. There's nothing there except duplicated images. That's it. If you have the right software, you can overlay images, no problem. Let me go. I'm going to jump out of here for 1 second, and we're going to move this way. I don't want to jump around a little bit, but I wanted to show all of you the situation with our jet stream and why things are so critical. So just pay very close attention to what I'm going to show you. Now, normally, this would be a stable polar vortex and a strong jet stream. Okay, our jet stream does have the ability to sink down, and yes, you will have troughs, and these would be considered a trough right here. We'll just call a trough in the shape of the letter U. Okay? So these troughs tend to sink down. And they go through Canada, and they're quite cold, and so on and so forth. This diagram over here is what is happening to our planet now with the jet stream. Now, this is not exact. It is just a graph, a figure. And what is happening and this is actually opposite. This U shape here should be where the red arrow is. So that trough is dipping down. Listen, last month, folks, and the month before, this trough here dipped down all the way into northern Mexico, bringing Arctic air all the way down. And again, this little wavy pattern that you see in the jet stream, it will continue, but all of this warm air gets sucked up very rapidly, and it produces rain all across this southern region of the United States. And then if that trough does dip down over the northeast and it collides with the moisture coming up from the south, then yes, you're going to have tremendous amounts of snow. And some of these northern states in the northern part of the northeast, yes, they've had, a lot of snow. But where I'm at, in my section of Pennsylvania, and some of the states kind of a little bit lower than PA, like parts of West Virginia, parts of Maryland, parts of Virginia, the Carolinas, mainly just wet. Now, yes, every now and then they're going to get stuck with the collision of the cold air and the precipitation, and yes, it's going to turn to snow. But the majority of this part of the United States, from down here around Louisiana up through, there's a very distinct diagonal pattern here. And on this side, it's all wet. On that side, it's all snow and real cold temperatures. These patterns are going to continue, and they are going to get much, much worse as we move into the spring and the summer. it's going to be pretty crazy. Just mark my words now. It is going to be crazy. There will be a lot to report on. And again, depending on where you live, you're going to get something. And I think we're going to be looking at some very serious catastrophic flooding in the months to come, moving into the spring and all through the summer. And Lord only knows what the hurricane season is going to bring us this year. But I wanted to share that with all of you. And, just speaking of, observational evidence, again, folks, are these other YouTube channels actually showing you real observational evidence? Or are they just, pulling your leg and, they want the YouTube views and they want the monetization money and, they want this rock star status? I mean, what are they actually trying to prove to you? Or are they proving anything to you? Okay? Again, that goes back to you moving into some very, very serious critical thinking. So these were captures from Planet X News back in 2017. And they all said, oh, that was a ghosted image of the sun. Get the hell out of here. How the hell can that be the sun? Ghosted image. Man, we took so much flack for that back in November of 2000, or I'm sorry, that was in 2016. I apologize. In 2016, we took so much flack for this. They suspended my YouTube channel for a month because I showed this. Some cockamamie community standards violation crap. So, since when does the sun have massively raised plateaus on it? You got me. But that sure as hell doesn't look like the sun. It sure as hell doesn't look like a ghosted image of the sun. And to me, that looks like a massive plateau of, well, let's just call it land. It's a land type structure. But anywho, I went back and, I've been telling a lot of people lately, look, you really need to go back to the very beginning like I did. And you really need to start to research the history of trying to find this object. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Robert Harrington didn't have all of the answers before they whacked him. They killed him. I watched an interview clip with a British reporter and Dr. Harrington, and he was talking about all of the data that they received from the IRAS, IRAS, the infrared satellite craft that they launched, and it supposedly got photographs of, Planet X, whatever. He stated that in that interview, I wish I had it, he stated to the reporter that it would take him years to go through all of the magnetic reel tapes of the data that was sent back from IRAS. He, quote, stated and said to the reporter that it equals 18,000 miles of data on these magnetic reel tapes. 18,000 miles. And for all of you people that are in your 40s and your 50s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These magnetic reels were, well, a little bit bigger than an album. Remember what an album, a music album, used to look like? And on that reel, like a big movie reel, well, that's data on that magnetic tape. He said it sent back 18,000 miles of data. and that it would take him a very long time to go through it. They killed that man. They killed him. On January 30th of 1983, the New York Times, I pulled this clip from the archives myself. It took me hours to find it. If any of you would like a copy of it, I will post it on the Planet X News Facebook page, and you can copy it yourself. It is pretty legible. I have another clearer copy. But ladies and gentlemen, that's actually my birthday, January 30th. But in 1983, the New York Times published this damn article. Clues get warm in the search for Planet X, by John Noble Wilford, reporter, journalist for the New York Times. Ladies and gentlemen, how fake can that be? Do you see where I'm coming from? It's real easy to sit there on your ass and be a keyboard warrior and say everything's fake. But in 1983, things weren't fake. They were pretty damn real. This is the actual abstract that Dr. Robert Harrington wrote on May 17th, 1988. And then he revised some of it on July 12th, 1988. The location of Planet X. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, going all the way back to 1930, Percival Lowell, renowned astronomer and scientist, was searching for Planet X because he knew something was perturbing the other planets. 1930. And then after astronomer Percival Lowell passed away, his protege, Mr. Tombaugh, picked up where he left off. So they were already putting this together in the 1930s. So why all of a sudden in the year 2019 is it fake? Do you see where I'm coming from? People did not think that all of this would eventually get exposed. But it did, and it is. This was published in the damn astronomical journal, for God's sakes. Dr. Robert S. Harrington was the chief U.S. Naval head astronomer. Washington, D.C. What? You think this is fake? It sure as hell isn't. Because Dr. Harrington's abstract, along with several others, is still available in the archives, in the Astronomical Journal, volume 96, number 4. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I mean by YouTube channels showing you critical information, real information, observational information. Not some story about Jesus and Revelations. and the "oh, I love you, brother." Not bringing on guests onto their YouTube channel to make you believe that these guests are somebody in this so-called Planet X Nibiru community, as they call it, because there is no damn community. Stop being fooled by the nonsense. Get all your heads screwed on the right way. We don't really have time to mess around with nonsense. We have already proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that these objects exist, and they are here, and they are here to stay throughout all of your lifetimes. Maybe sometime in the future, maybe they'll break away. Who knows? But we can't live for that period of time. We have to live for today and the very near future, meaning the months and the few years to come. You know, folks, if anything, you people should be pissed off to high hell that other YouTube channels are deceiving you and filling your heads with nonsense. Instead of sitting there and leaving these little, "Oh, I love your YouTube channel, Steve," and "Oh, Alex, oh, you're the greatest." You people should be pissed off to high hell that these others are fooling you, deceiving you, and lying straight to your faces. But you're not, because you're weak. Take it for however you want, but those are the facts. When you're falling for this garbage and you're falling for that nonsense, you're weak. Your mind is weak. Your mind is clouded. Pop your head up out of the clouds and get down to that critical thinking. That's all I ask. You'll get my point. I'm not trying to be nasty here, but I'm trying to open up your eyes. Open up your mind. This is not fake. This is not a goddamn game. This is real life. And as each and every one of you are sitting on your rear end right now listening to me rant and rave, this is your life. And this is what you're going to experience. And this is what the governments have been hiding for decades. And they will stop at nothing to continue to discredit and hide the information because, like I've said, they don't want to rewrite history. And they sure as hell don't want more civil unrest. Even though they're creating a lot of it. I've had a lot of people talk to me and ask a lot about Carlos Ferrada. And Carlos Ferrada was a genius in his own time. 1909 to 2001. He first spoke about Herculobus, Planet X, in 1940. Yeah, that's right, 1940. But Mr. Ferrada did not have the observational evidence that we have now, because these objects, or this Planet X system, was still so far away in 1940. These people were just putting their finger on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? They are credible people. Dr. Robert Harrington, Carlos Ferrada. I really can't put Zachariah Sitchin in there because Sitchin's information, it's very, very shaky. But when they killed Dr. Harrington, what? He died all of a sudden of esophageal cancer? The man was in perfect health. He was in New Zealand. He commissioned the government for the funds to build a telescope in New Zealand, in the southern hemisphere, because that's where he predicted the system was coming up from. Has anybody ever seen that telescope? That observatory? It's still there to this day. Have you ever seen it? I got a picture of it. There it is. That's when they were building it. It was a small observatory with 2 telescopes. The telescopes were custom built by Harrington because he knew where this system was coming from. It was coming from below Earth. Okay, so Earth's on a flat plane around the sun. This was coming from, let's just say, the south part of space, below us. I can't really put that into any other words. But he saw it. Not clearly, but he saw it. And through his mathematical genius, oh hell, he started figuring out how fast it was coming in by months and months and months of observations and sending the data back to the United States government. Do any of you know where Harrington died? Everybody has been led to believe that that man died here in the United States. He did not. Dr. Harrington died in New Zealand after making a very critical phone call to his wife. His phones were tapped by the United States government. He would speak to his wife twice a day. She wanted him to come home. He had a family, 2 daughters. And he was in New Zealand for months and months at this observatory that was built for him. He was told not to discuss his findings, only to deliver his reports to the United States government. And then one day, he must have made a very critical discovery that shook him to the core. And he made a phone call. And that phone call was to his wife. He did not know that his phones were being tapped by government agents listening to everything that he was saying. And he told his wife for the first time what he found, and he discussed his fear. He discussed his fear with his wife about what he found. On that day, Dr. Harrington did not realize that he had less than 24 hours to live. That's right. You heard it. That man suddenly died from complications of esophageal cancer. And that man never smoked a damn cigarette and was in perfect health. Yeah. Was there an autopsy? No. And guess what, folks? It took Mrs. Harrington months, many months, to recover her husband's body from New Zealand to be brought back to Washington, D.C. to give him a proper burial. Yeah. You want to talk about cover-ups? There you go. I've done my homework. I've done my research. And I've dug deep. Deeper than any damn YouTube channel on this platform. They will continue to cover it up. All of the data on those IRAS reels, you'll never, ever get to see that data. Now, years later, after they had supercomputers, they were able to analyze that data much faster. 18,000 miles of data. And guess what? It confirmed everything that Harrington was saying. They knew when he made that phone call to his wife, he was compromised. You'll never hear that. You'll never hear anybody talk about that. Those are the facts, folks. We're done dealing with the picture shows on these stupid YouTube channels, filling your minds and clouding your minds with nonsense. It's time to get down to the facts. Sometimes myself, I'm scared to death to get on my YouTube channel and spill my guts like I'm doing here today. But I think each and every one of you have the right to know. Will millions of people see this live stream? Hell no. They have my YouTube channel so censored and so beaten down and buried in the doldrums of YouTube. But each and every one of you, you have a YouTube channel because you're watching me right now. You have my permission to copy this video and upload it onto your YouTube channel and circulate it around the world. You have my permission. Send it out there, man. But people like Steve Olson, Alex Luhan, Dave Dobbs, and some of these other jokers, they're doing nothing but pulling your legs, looking for YouTube videos, and looking for your money. I could give a shit less about YouTube views. I could give a shit less about my YouTube channel growing to 100 or even 1 million followers. What I truly care about is our damn survival and what things are going to be like in a few months from now, or maybe a year from now, or a few years from now. I worry. I got 2 kids in their first and second year of college. I'd like to be around to see how they lead their lives and what they become. Will I get that chance? I don't know. Will any of us live to see tomorrow? I don't know. But I know one thing, folks. There are people out there that are filling your heads with garbage. If you like to watch it, that's your prerogative. Go right ahead. But please stop sending me the emails asking me to take a look at these idiots and their videos, because their videos are garbage and they show no evidence whatsoever. None. Zero. It took me the longest time to get this photograph. There is so much of Dr. Harrington's work that is still to this day classified. So if there was nothing to worry about, why in the hell is it classified? We have more damn disclosure coming out of the United States government and other governments based on UFOs than we do on this subject matter. Boy, now that's critical thinking. Why is that? Yeah, that's what I thought. I know a lot of you think that I'm an asshole, and that's fine. You're welcome to your opinion about me. But one thing you should never ever forget about me and my personality is that I am seeking the truth. I am not looking to fool any of you. And I can't sit here and say that I love all of you like your other YouTube channels do. Oh, I love you, man. I love you. I love all of you subscribers. And a lot of you fall for that garbage. They prey on your religious beliefs, when religion has nothing to do with this. This is science. I've said this before. Science and religion don't mix, and they never will. Yeah. Does that man look like he has esophageal cancer? Hell no. Excuse me. The stinking shame what they did to this man. They've done it to a lot of scientists. Here's IRAS. Beautiful picture of that infrared space telescope. State-of-the-art technology, baby. They claim it took a few photographs and broke. Uh-huh. Okay. Tell me another one. There you go. Look at the size of that damn thing. Yeah. Do you think that they built this infrared telescope, sent it out into outer space just for it to break down? Yeah. Tell me another NASA lie, baby. I want to show you guys a few other things here real quick, just to make you understand. Okay? In 1972 and 1973, once again, the boys in blue were instructed to build 2 satellites. Spacecraft. One was Pioneer 10, launched in 72. Pioneer 11, launched in 1973. Where were they going, and why the big rush to get them out there? They were going on information that they received, and they wanted the tools out there in space to clarify what they were told is out there. These 2 satellites were launched in 2 totally different directions. And you can see, well, basically these are the years, 73, 74, and as it moved out further and further and further out into space. They basically have to catapult themselves, slingshot themselves further and further out into space. This is on a flat plane, so it doesn't actually show you the actual trajectory that these 2 craft were sent out. Would you not like to be a fly on the damn wall to observe the data that these two crafts sent back? Yeah. We'll never know about that, will we? Yeah, because they don't want us to know, and we will never know. Let me get into some of this here real quick. This was Zecharia Sitchin's orbital path, and he claimed that this was Nibiru and this was Nemesis. And Nemesis is on the far outer fringe of our solar system, and Nibiru has this elliptical orbit. Now, folks, that is not true. It's not true. Ferrata had a very similar hypothesis. But again, they did not have the critical information and observational information that we have now. They were on the right track, but based on the period of time, the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s, and 70s, okay? If Ferrata and Harrington were alive today, could you only imagine? Holy hell. Now, if we reduce this elliptical orbit and shrink it down to a 28-day elliptical orbit around the sun, that's what we're looking at now. The Nemesis object, you can call that Planet X, whatever, call it whatever you want. This object here is now here. It's in a real tight orbit around the sun. Shrink this orbit all the way down. Nibiru, hypothetical name. Mythology. Does the main Planet X stellar core have other planetary bodies orbiting around it? You bet your damn ass it does. They're smaller, probably maybe larger, a little larger than Earth from what we see. But they're not going anywhere, folks. They're not going to smash into the Earth. That's pretty much physically impossible. Unless some craziness happens and they're, a slingshot effect happens. They're expelled and, the Earth just happens to be in the way. Yeah, boom. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in your lifetime or 100 lifetimes. So, all of these people, these scientists, minus Zecharia Sitchin, they were on the right path. Percival Lowell, Tombaugh, Dr. Harrington, and Ferrata, they were on the right path. But their path was expired. Ferrata kept a low profile. Dr. Harrington did also. But remember, he made that one critical phone call to his wife in fear of what he found. And less than 24 hours later, he was dead. Dead. Because he told his wife what he found. They were listening to the phone call. I'm surprised that they allowed his wife to live. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of you ask me about pole shift, crustal displacement, that type of pole shift. That would take a lot of exertion on the Earth for that to happen, and none of you would live to go through that. That would pretty much destroy the entire Earth. And humanity would pretty much be wiped the hell out. So don't let anybody fool you with all of these pole shift channels and websites and nonsense. A crustal displacement, a crustal shift would be so catastrophic, your lights would be turned out in a split second. So once again, myth and reality. What is real and what is not? Now, magnetic pole reversal, that's a whole different story, and our poles are migrating at a very rapid pace, and that is something to be concerned about, because it will change things on this planet in a very drastic way, but it won't wipe out humanity. So once again, folks, critical thinking. The more you know, the better off you're going to be. Remember my saying, knowledge is power, but you can't cloud your mind with nonsense delivered to your ears and your mind by charlatans. It's that simple. Here was another article that came up, and this was the one I was talking about, and I pulled this from the New York Times archives. January 30th, 1983. There you see it. You see the scientists and the technicians right here working on the IRAS telescope. Clues get warm in the search for Planet X. I mean, folks, do you really think that they would write up a full-scale article and put it in the New York Times if there wasn't some evidence? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. You know, we have, over the years, we have shown all of you the most critical observational evidence that is available to the general public. You've seen it all right here. You haven't seen it on any other damn channel. What you're looking at now, you're looking at all of the sophisticated telescopes that they put in the Arctic, or Antarctica, I'm sorry. Yeah. Where was Harrington? Southern Hemisphere, New Zealand. Yeah. Yeah, the mystery deepens, doesn't it? Yeah, oh, it's just one big damn conspiracy, isn't it? Yeah. Massive, massive, state-of-the-art technology sitting in Antarctica, in the freaking frozen tundra. Yeah. Yeah. What's that telescope looking at? What's it trying to find? Martians? Hell no. These massive telescopes, state-of-the-art technology in their time, still active today. Wouldn't you like to see the data that they have? Yeah, I sure will. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Once again, concrete proof, concrete evidence, no nonsense, no picture show of, subscriber photographs of, lens flares and anomalies in the sky taken through, cell phones and sunglasses. No guests on this YouTube channel doing an interview, a guest that, you can't verify who these people are. That's what some of these other YouTube channels are doing. They want you to think, oh, wow, yeah, this guy knows it all. I just listened to an interview with George Norrie on Coast to Coast Radio, and I respect George. I like his show. It's out there, man. You know, he's on the Science Channel. He is on the History Channel from time to time. He just did a radio show the other day. Brings on this guy. I don't even know who the hell this guy is. And he's on there for, I think, 35 minutes was the radio broadcast, talking all of this nonsense about Nibiru, Planet X, Jesus, the floods, 500-foot waves, everybody's going to die. But the man didn't give 1 ounce of credible information. Put me on Coast to Coast Radio. Put me on the History Channel. Put me on the Science Channel. Let me show the world, unobstructed, let me show the world the true hardcore evidence that Planet X exists. The system is in an orbital pattern around our sun, and it's not going anywhere. That will never happen. This is Scott from Planet X News. Thank you for watching. Be safe, folks. Take care.